Welcome, everyone, to the John Kentera Show on YouTube, our San Diego Sports Talk. Always great to have you. And, before we get rolling and break down that series between the Minnesota Twins and our San Diego Padres, want to make sure when you're tuning in, if you would, please subscribe to the channel. I'd really, really appreciate that. And, of course, you can follow me on Facebook at John Kentera and on X at Coach Kentera 44. So we'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe and make comments about the program or make comments about the Padres or what's going on in San Diego. Always enjoy looking at those comments and try to get back to a lot of you folks, whether it's over our podcast or if you write to me, I certainly take time to write back to everyone. So again, if you are tuning in, please subscribe. And again, you can follow me on Facebook at John Kentera and on X at Coach Kentera 44. Well, we're going to break down the series between Minnesota and the Padres. And the Padres, they took the first two games and completely fell apart on Wednesday against the Twins. But the Padres, with their series win, they've won 9 out of their last 10 series. They get drubbed pretty good by the Twinkies on Wednesday, 11-4. And once again, Matt Waldron having all kinds of problems. I mean, just really scuffling right now, and he's got to get it together. Now, I know he's thrown more innings this year than ever in the big leagues. I mean, he came up last year, was kind of a spot starter, but maybe he's hitting the proverbial wall right now. But, I mean, he got cuffed around pretty good on Wednesday. He lasted 4 1/3, gave up 12 hits and 10 earned runs. Boy, that climbed his ERA up to 4.79, and his record now 7-11. That's normally where I go to get my coffee in the morning, but 7-11 and a 4.79 ERA has to be a little bit of a concern for Mike Shildt, Ruben Niebla, and more than anyone, Matt Waldron. Padres really just didn't have it on a Wednesday. They mustered a total of 4 runs and 7 hits. That's not going to get it done. But nonetheless, they're playing great baseball, and it's hard to beat them up over one game. I mean, this team right now has really played so well. They're now, with the loss, 72-56. So they're right in it. I mean, they're the leader in the wild card right now, and on the heels of the Dodgers. Dodgers are getting healthy. Going to be tough, I think, to climb over the Dodgers. But, hey, the Padres are right there. And remember, the final week of the regular season, they've got the Dodgers for 3 at Dodger Stadium, and then they've got to go over and finish the year against the Arizona Diamondbacks. So anything can happen. They're right there. They're right there. But it wasn't a good day on Wednesday for Matt Waldron. Sean Reynolds, I thought, who came up a few weeks ago, he came in, did a nice job, saved the bullpen. He went 2 2/3, gave up 3 hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts. Adrian Morejon, 1 inning, 1 hit. Dropped his ERA down to 2.79. Jeremiah Estrada came in through the 9th inning, gave up a couple of hits and a run, had a couple of strikeouts. But all in all, I thought Sean Reynolds kind of saved the Padre bullpen, because the Padres right now are in a situation where they're playing 18 games in 18 days. And right now on Wednesday, it was game 6. So there are no days off for the Padres. 18 games in 18 days, and they're only at game 6 right now. And that's in the book. But, taking a look at the game on Wednesday, a couple of things that stood out. Donovan Solano came in, had a pinch hit home run, doing a great job, hitting 307 on the year, 7-13 as a pinch hitter. Second pinch hit homer he's hit this year. He's doing a great job, really playing great baseball. Mason McCoy, who the Padres purchased his contract this morning from AAA El Paso. Matthew Batten got sent down after coming up yesterday. Batten comes up and goes right back down, and they purchased the contract of Mason McCoy. Now, Mason McCoy was up earlier in the year with the ball club for 1 game. Last year, he played in Toronto, 6 games, had 1 at bat. Well, Wednesday, he came in initially as a pinch hitter, stayed in and played shortstop to finish out the ball game. Got his first major league hit. So that was a positive. And then Jackson Merrill ripping his 18th home run, a 2-run homer. Got RBIs number 70 and 71 on the year. Had 2 more hits on Wednesday. And those were the bright spots. Solano's pinch hit homer. Mason McCoy getting his first major league hit, and Jackson Merrill continued to swing the bat very, very well. 2 for 4 again, 18th homer. and now 71 RBIs on the year. You go back to Tuesday night, Padres were out hit by Minnesota, 13-10, but Padres found a way to get the job done. 7-5, bottom of the seventh, Padres trailed 3-1. Manny blasts a 2-run homer to tie the ball game up. Minnesota comes back, pushes across a couple of runs against Tanner Scott, and then Jackson Merrill uncorks that 3-run homer to left to make it 6-5, and then Xander Bogaerts tacked on an RBI double, and the Padres walked away with a 7-5 victory. In that ball game, Martin Perez, first time in his Padre career, which was short, it was only his fourth start, really struggled, I thought. But you know what? That's going to happen. It's going to happen. He's throwing the ball pretty well. He lasted 4 2/3, gave up 7 hits and 3 earned runs. But that's going to happen. But Brian Hoeing, fantastic. An inning in the third, a hit. Yuki Matsui came in, did the job. Tanner Scott got cuffed around, but he ended up getting the win. His record now 8-5. His ERA, giving up 2 earned runs, climbed all the way to 1.63. He throws the ball really well. And then Robert Suarez came in Tuesday night, picked up his 29th save. So all good all the way around. Some of the offensive highlights Tuesday night, Jake Cronenworth, 2 for 4, his 24th double. We mentioned Manny hitting the 2-run homer. Bogaerts, the RBI double. David Peralta had an RBI single. Donovan Solano pinch hit that night and had a pinch hit single. And then, of course, Profar had the big hit, the 3-run homer in the 8th. Both Manny and Profar now with 20 dingers on the year. So that was Tuesday night. Monday night, Padres got a 5-3 victory. Michael King. This guy has really been special, and he doesn't look like he's slowing down at all to me. I mean, he ended up going 6 innings, giving up 4 hits and 2 earned runs. Had 6 punch-outs, 3 walks, a hit batsman. Picked up his 11th win. His ERA at 3.18. He's been fantastic. And I know the Padres are monitoring him right now. But, man, they get in the playoffs. Dylan Cease and Michael King, game 1 and game 2. You got to like that. You got to like that a lot. And then they went to the bullpen Monday night. Jason Adam threw the 7th. Only thing he did was struck out the side. Struck out the side that night. Tanner Scott 1 inning, and Robert Suarez got nicked for a run, but picked up his 28th save that night. And then, of course, Tuesday night, he got his 29th save. Padre bullpen is tough, man. Big effort out of that bullpen. And the big blow in the ball game was early. Jackson Merrill, a 3-run double with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. So the Padres, I can't begin to tell you, this team has a never-say-die attitude. They are so fun to watch. And I got to be honest with you. A couple of years ago, they weren't always the most fun team to watch. They certainly weren't fun to watch in 2023. 2022, they got hot, but there were points in time in that year where they weren't a whole lot of fun. 2021, they weren't very good, especially down the stretch. But right now, I mean, even when they got down on Wednesday, they were down 8-0. And they eventually went down 10-0. But it was early. And you're saying, could these guys come back and get the job done? Yeah, they can. It didn't happen on Wednesday, but they've come back from an 8-run deficit this year. They can do it. They take quality at bats. Couple of things. They do a good job of working the starter to get to the underbelly of a lot of these teams' bullpen, and they feast off the bullpen. Okay, when they're in a situation where they've got to put the ball in play, they put the ball in play. You know, the Padres have struck out the least amount of times in any team in baseball. That's awesome. Now, you're going to hit into some double plays occasionally because you are putting the ball in play more than the average bearer. But that's okay. Nothing ever good happens from a strikeout. You put the ball in play, anything can happen. They've got to get to it. They got to field it. They got to throw it. Another guy's got to catch. A lot of things can happen. But when you strike out, nothing good happens. You don't move runners. Everybody's mad. You're mad. The hitting coach is mad. The guy at second base is mad. The manager's mad. But they're putting the ball in play. And when you put the ball in play, you got a chance to get hits. Even if they're a little duck snort over the first baseman or third baseman's head or a little Texas League single to center. Just put the ball in play. That's what they're doing. They've been so good at that this year. So that was the series. Now, taking a look at the numbers for the Padres, I mentioned they're 72-56. They're 2-1 on the 7-game homestand. At Petco Park with the loss on Wednesday, they're 35-30. A road record, they're 37-26. In the month of August, they're 13-5. And since the All-Star break, 22-7. And the Padres now, as I mentioned, have won 9 of their last 10 series. The only one, they lost that rubber game to Colorado this past Sunday. Aside from that, they've been absolutely nails, finding a way to get the job done. Okay, let's talk about Ha-Seong Kim. We got some roster moves to talk about. I want to talk about Ha-Seong Kim. When we did the podcast earlier in the week, we didn't know what the Padres were going to do with Ha-Seong Kim. He jammed that right shoulder in Colorado on Sunday. They were going to have imaging we talked about. They got the imaging back. They didn't put him on the IL on Monday. They were kind of hoping and praying that, he could come back after 5 or 6 days. Then they thought better of it. Tuesday, prior to the ball game, they made a roster move. They brought up Matthew Batten. They put Ha-Seong Kim on the IL. And then on Wednesday, Matt Batten, he got a day's worth of service time and got a nice little pay increase for that one day. He gets sent back to El Paso, and they bring up Mason McCoy. They purchased his contract. And as I mentioned, if you tuned in a little bit late, Mason McCoy got his first major league hit on Wednesday. So congratulations to him. And the other move that they made on Wednesday, and this was a procedural move to open up a 40-man roster spot, they put Fernando Tatis Jr., they put him on the 60-day IL. Now, he's been on the IL for more than 60 days. Wednesday, it was 61 days. So he can come off whenever he's healthy from that stress reaction in his femur. He can come off. But it really doesn't sound like it's anytime soon. I mean, he's doing baseball-related activities right now. He's doing a little bit of light running. He's swinging the bat. He's playing catch. But there's no signs that he's going out on a rehab assignment or anything. So I really don't know. And then, of course, when he comes back, you're going to have to make some roster moves. There have been some guys on this team that have done a pretty good job, and they may lose their spot. I mean, Bryce Johnson would be the first guy that would probably go down. I understand that. But you're going to be taking David Peralta out of the lineup. He's come up with some big hits. And, it just changes the complexion of the ball club when Fernando comes back. And, if Fernando was playing when he comes back the way he was before he went on the IL, man, you can't wait to get him back. But it may take him some while to get back to being Fernando. And you're in the heat of a pennant race. And I don't know where he's at physically. This is going to be an interesting move for the Padres. I don't think it's an easy move because they've got some really good chemistry working on this ball club right now. And I'm not sitting here saying, well, you're not going to bring Fernando back. Hell yeah, you're going to bring Fernando back. But you got to make sure he's ready to go. And he needs some time to go down and play and see some pitching and run around and see if he can hold up. So we'll try to continue to get information from the Padres, but they've been awful tight-lipped about this. They haven't said a whole lot at all. But Ha-Seong Kim, now here's the thing on Ha-Seong Kim. Ha-Seong Kim was really starting to swing the bat. Well, you know that in his last 10 games before he got hurt, he was hitting 367. Now, you look at his numbers on the year, they're not good. 233, 11 homers, 47 RBIs, and an OPS plus of 99. Now, we know OPS plus of 100 is a major league average player. So he's just a tick under that right now. But you go back and take a look at him last year in 2023. He hit 260, 17 dingers, 60 RBIs, 38 stolen bases, too, and a 108 OPS plus. This year, he hasn't stolen the bases like he did a year ago. But you know what? Power numbers weren't that far off. 11 homers. He had 17 a year ago. But you know what? He was starting to come around and swing the bat much better. Now, I don't think he was playing as good a defense as he did last year where he won a Gold Glove at second base. And I don't think he's playing as good a defense as he did back in 2022 where he was a shortstop every day and really played well. But, he's still better than the average shortstop. We know that. But he was really starting to come on with the stick. And they're hoping when the 10 days are up, and they can retroactive that to Monday. So he'd be out for 9 days, basically, because they didn't put him on until Tuesday. Hopefully he's able to come back. Now, remember, it was his right shoulder. He jammed it, got inflammation in there. I'm sure they're working hard. But again, you got to be able to throw from shortstop, that deep hole. You got to have a cannon arm from out there. So that's where we're at with Ha-Seong Kim and the roster moves. Okay, I want to get to the series coming up against the New York Mets. On Wednesday, I watched the New York Mets game. They won 4-3. Jesse Winker hit a pinch hit, opposite field home run, and they won the ball game 4-3. They beat Baltimore 2 out of 3. Mets have won 5 out of their last 8. They're playing really good baseball. This is a very critical series for the Mets and for the Padres. Now, if you recall, the Padres went to Citi Field earlier in the year. Didn't go well. Didn't go well at all. In fact, when you look at that series, back on June 14th, 15th, and 16th, Padres got beat 2-1, 5-1, and got beat 11-6. They were outscored in the series 18-8. They got swept. Lost all 3. Mets are playing as good a baseball as they've played all year. They're coming in right now feeling pretty good about themselves. They're 66-61. They're right in the middle of this wild card race, just a little bit on the outside looking in. Got some incredible pitching matchups starting on Thursday night. Some incredible matchups. Thursday night, 6:40, New York Mets sending big right-hander, former New York Yankee Luis Severino to the hill, 8-6 and a 3.91. Last time out, he threw a complete game. But the Padres are countering with their big right-hander, Dylan Cease, who's 12-9 and a 3.46. That's going to be a hell of a matchup. Friday night, 6:40. Mets going with former Oakland A, Paul Blackburn, a right-hander, 5-3 and a 4.19 ERA. Padres going with Big Joe Musgrove, 3-4 and a 4.97. Third start off the IL for Joe. So far, so good. Been pretty much on a pitch count, but pitching very, very well. So far in the 2 starts, coming off the IL, 8 2/3, 5 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 2 hit batters, and 7 strikeouts, and pitched much better second time out than he did the first time. Both times he went 4 1/3. Pitching very, very well right now. Saturday night, Petco Park, 5:40. This ought to be a good matchup as well. Mets go with left-hander David Peterson, 7-1 in a 3 ERA. He's pitched 78 innings this year, 7-1 with a 3 ERA, going against the right-hander Michael King, 11-6 in a 3.18. And then Sunday afternoon at Petco Park, 1:10. New York Mets go with left-hander Jose Quintana, 6-9 and a 4.57 against left-hander Martin Perez, 3-5 and a 4.67. Now remember, Luis Quintana, a soft tosser at this point in time of his career. Quintana threw against the Padres back on June 15th. He ended a 10-start winless streak that day against the Friars. He went 6 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 run it was earned, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Jackson Merrill tagged him for a home run, and that was about it. So that'll be an interesting matchup on Sunday. And again, the Mets are 3-0 against the Padres this year. They're coming in. And, man, I was looking at that Met lineup on Wednesday. Whew. They got, of course, Pete Alonso. They got Jeff McNeil, who won a batting title a couple of years ago. Hadn't been really the same hitter. Francisco Lindor is putting together a pretty good season. They got a young third baseman, a guy by the name of Mark Vientos, who's putting up some pretty good numbers. They got a guy coming off the bench who was actually with the Padres last year in the AAA, never got to the big league. Remember Jose Iglesias, who played for the Colorado Rockies? Like 2 years ago, he hit .292 for the Rockies and couldn't get a job. Padres had him last year, never brought him up, even though he put up pretty good numbers. He latched on with the Mets, doing a good job, kind of in a utility role. Their outfield of Brandon Nimmo, Harrison Bader, Starling Martages recently got back. And then Jesse Winker, who won the ball game for him on Wednesday, opposite field dinger, and he went absolutely crazy. And again, they just took 2 out of 3 from the Baltimore Orioles. They're playing really well. Their catcher, Francisco Alvarez, who I like, not having a great year, but they do have a great DH who wore the Padres out in those 3 games back in June. J.D. Martinez, the former Dodger, who had big numbers for the Dodgers last year and signed as a free agent with the Mets. Padres got to figure out how to pitch him because he absolutely wore out the Padres. He had a big double in that first game. He had 2 homers in the second game, and Padres got to figure out how to slow down J.D. Martinez. Okay, I want to mention a little Aztec football. I'm getting ready to apply for my press credential. I'm looking forward to going to the Aztecs' first game, August 31st, 5 o'clock, Snapdragon Stadium. They're taking on Texas A&M Commerce. Be a good grand opening for Coach Sean Lewis and company. And they announced over the weekend they're going to go with a freshman quarterback, Danny O'Neill. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be interesting. It's going to be, I think every Aztec game is going to be interesting because you really don't know what to expect. I'm going out there and looking so forward to it, and I don't want to be overly optimistic, but I am optimistic that they're going to open this offense up. The defense is going to figure out some things. They'll have good special teams, and the Aztecs will do better than a lot of people are predicting. You know, the Mountain West Riders predicted them to come in 8th place. They had no Aztecs, none, on the preseason all-conference team. I don't ever remember that. But there's a lot of new players. I mean, half the team is new. So there's a lot of anticipation. You know, you can have scrimmages at Snapdragon. You can have scrimmages out on campus. But, man, when the lights go on, it's a different story. You don't know how your team's going to react. They may surprise you. You just never know. And you got a freshman quarterback. If you're an Aztec fan, I hope you're excited. I'm excited. I'm very excited. And for tickets, not that I'm the PR director or trying to sell tickets for the Aztecs, but to make it easy, if you want to go to the game, just go to goaztecs.com. They got all the information on there for you. And I can't wait, man. I love going to Snapdragon Stadium. Okay, the other thing before I get out of here, I wanted to mention, this is a great time of year. Everybody's getting back into school, whether it's high school or college, but, you know, elementary school, everybody's getting back into school. And I can't believe they seem like they start earlier and earlier every year. I mean, it doesn't seem like the kids really get much August to go to the beach and hang out with their buddies and do their thing, and they're back in school. But, you know, I want to wish all the fall sports in high school, you know, all you football players, you girls volleyball players, cross-country runners, male and female, girls flag football players, and field hockey players, you ladies out there that play field hockey. I want to wish you all, and the coaches, the cheerleaders, the support staffs, I want to wish you a very, very happy and safe and healthy fall season. It's a great time of year. It's a great time of year. I know high school football starts on Thursday and Friday nights in San Diego. I know some of the volleyball and field hockey and girls flag football has already started. You know, cross country is getting underway, and it's a fun time of year. It really is. And I would encourage you folks that maybe don't have a child in high school, maybe you did, or maybe you never did. You know, on a Friday night, you want to do something fun, or during the week, you want to go out and watch young athletes, you know, lay it on the line. Get out to a high school event in your neighborhood. There's plenty of information. You can go online and look for games in your neighborhood, but go out and support your local high schools and have fun. It's a great community event. Grab a hot dog and a Coke and enjoy a great high school athletic event. But I wanted to wish all you fall athletes, coaches, support staff, cheerleaders, dance girls, everyone, have a great fall season. We'll have another podcast on Sunday after the Padres game against the New York Mets. And again, Padres playing great baseball. They're right there. They're right there working towards the finish line. Stay healthy. And hopefully this will be the year that Peter Seidler always wanted. Again, thanks for tuning in. Remember, you can follow me on Facebook at John Kentera and on X at Coach Kentera 44. And please, when you're watching it on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. Very much appreciate it. I love you all, and thanks again for tuning in. Bye-bye.